Welcome to Clement's Family Farm. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make easy pastrami, something that we love in our household. So let me show you the recipe. Just leave it. Easy pastrami, a wonderful treat. Let's get with it. Stupid. All right, I'm excited to show you this one because I call this easy pastrami, and we are in the season of St. Patrick's Day, and the biggest thing is corned beef. This is when I stock up, I get stuff on sale. I saw a brisket yesterday that was $10 a pound. I just don't buy pastrami only because I can make it cheaper and I love it. But at $9, if you go to the deli, you're going to be paying $9 to $15 a pound for already made pastrami. It used to never be that way. We used to get it for $1.50 a pound, but it's skyrocketed, and I just can't afford to do that for something that I love. But I wanted to show you how we make our pastrami. Super simple and easy. If you've got a grill, a pellet grill, or a smoker, or one of those egg things that you can bring the heat down to about 180 degrees. I like to smoke around 150 to 180 on low with a lot of smoke. This is for you. I know a lot of people got the pellet grills and the egg smokers and regular smokers. And this is how you take a regular corned beef and turn it into pastrami. That's all pastrami is. Corned beef, smoked, and then once it's smoked, it becomes pastrami. I love it year-round. My family loves it year-round. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to show you this. Because during St. Patrick's Day, this is what you see on the market, right? All these bags of corned beef. Everybody buys them up. But guess what the price is on these? So this is already seasoned and cured. I don't have to go through that process. And there are differences. You got the point cut, and then you got a flat cut. For me, it doesn't matter. I don't care. It all has the same flavor. Everybody has their preferences, but not me. I don't care. I just want good pastrami. The thicker cuts do take a little bit longer when you are curing them. But in this case, they're already cured. We don't have to worry about it. But I wanted to show you this. This point cut right here was $3.99 a pound on sale. Normally $6.99. So there's $3 off per pound right now on these. Still, even at $6.99, it's cheaper than a regular brisket that you still have to season. Here is the flat cut. This was $5.99 on sale, normally $7.99. So a couple bucks difference. It's still cheaper than 15 bucks or 10 bucks a pound, half off. And you're doing it yourself. You can control the seasoning on it. That's one of the things I like. I can control the seasonings. So one thing I will point out is each brand and each store has a little bit different brine recipe. Some are really super salty and you need to debrine them. Some are just fine right out of the bag. A lot of them will tell you just to go ahead and start cooking them. Me personally, I don't like all that salt because, like I said, I want to control my seasoning content. They're already cured through the curing process, so I don't care so much about the salt. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's get these things out of the bag, and I'll show you the next steps. All right. Got them out of the bag. I rinsed them off real good and then patted them dry real quick. The only reason why I patted them dry is because I'm going to be handling them and it's going to be a little slippery. But like I suspected, they had those bags marked kind of right. So this one here was called the point cut. This is part of the point cut, and it is a thicker piece. So this one will take a little bit longer to cook. But this one here was marked the flat. Well, that's kind of true. They left part of the point on here too. to add the extra weight. They charge you more for this, and instead of giving you all flat like it said on the package, they're giving you part of the point. And I'm going to remove that part right now because it's just going to make smoking it a little bit easier, and it'll give me 3 pieces. So anyway, one of the things I like to do, so this is the flat part right here, and it's a big piece. This point piece comes out on the end, and there is a point where there's a separation in the membrane or the fat where it keeps those two separate. Anyway, so I'm just gonna remove it. I like to remove most of the fat anyway. So you can kind of see now, we've got 3 pieces. This is actually the flat part. So they're charging you more money for this. So you can see how they're adding a little extra cost to the higher priced cut of meat by adding this point tip to your flat. So it's something that you should be aware of. You can kind of tell when you're buying it in the bag. I knew when I was looking at the bag, it was not your typical flat point. So where this piece right here probably weighs, I don't know, a pound, you're paying $2 or more for this when it should have been over in this package at the lower price. So anyway, that's how they kind of get you. But all I'm going to do now, I don't like all this fat, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove some of this fat. All right, now I got a good piece of meat right here. That's all I'm going to do with it. Now from here, I'm going to debrine it. I don't like all the salt flavors in these, and sometimes they oversalt them, and it's just too much for me. So like I said, I want to control it, and all I'm going to do is, I got a water bath right here with cold water. I'm just going to shove this in here, and I'm going to let these soak for about an hour. So I'm just going to continue removing this fat. I'm just using cold tap water in here, and cold tap water is perfect. I'm just going to let them sit on the counter here for an hour. I'm not going to re-refrigerate them because they're going to be going on a grill in about an hour. So no need to keep them chilled. Plus, this is going to warm up just a little bit and pull some more of those salts out. Anyway, I'm just going to let them sit and put a cover on it. And that's it. I'll be back here in an hour, and I'm going to show you how I season it. All right, they've been soaking for about an hour and a half. All I did was rinse them off real good, got all that water out, and dried them. Just pat them dry with some paper towels, and I could tell by the looks of them, you could see that they changed color. They went from that bright red to kind of a grayish pink color. I know it works because of that color change, and the color of the water changed. Some guys will do this overnight to get all the brine out. An hour to an hour and a half is what I typically do, and I haven't had any issues with the salt. So that's totally up to you. It's not going to hurt you if you do it overnight, but that's just my personal preference. But now here's the fun part. We're going to season it up a little bit. I don't go crazy with this because there's a ton of flavor already in the corned beef, and then the smoke's going to give it the flavor. But what goes with corned beef? Mustard, and then that classic black pepper flavor. This is your choice too. Stone ground mustard, or just the regular old yellow mustard. I was going to do, you know what? I'm going to experiment a little bit and see which one my family likes. I'm going to do one with the stone ground and one with the regular mustard. So I like the mustard because it does give it a little bit of flavor to it. It's not a ton of flavor like you would think a mustard would, but it does give it a little deeper, richer flavor to it, and it does go with corned beef. So don't be afraid to use a lot of mustard. What I'm going to do, I got 2 different types of black pepper here, and one is a fine And then the others, of course, you can use whatever you want. I'm going to use both because I like that pepper flavor, but I'm not going to go crazy with it. Some people go a little crazy with the black pepper, and I want to taste the meat. So anyway, I'm using both styles, and I'm putting the pepper on first. I want it to stick to the meat. Give it that classic corned beef. So once I get the black pepper on there, I'm going to take my stone ground mustard and just coat it. Like I said, I'm not going to get crazy. I'm just going to coat it. And that's it. It's nice and coated. And I'm just going to put this in my back in my tub here. Grab that, put it on top. And that's it. So I'm going to do the same thing with the flat. And then I'm just going to add the yellow mustard to it. You don't have to do this step. This is just how we like it. All right, that's all seasoned up, ready to go. I'm gonna pull all this off the thing. And we're ready to go in the smoker. So let's go to the smoker. All right, we're here at the smoker. It doesn't matter if you've got one of these pellet grills or a regular standard biscuit smoker or one of the eggs, as long as you can control your heat below 200. I like to use a low heat for smoking. It's just kind of what my preference has been, and I've had tremendous success with all my bacon. So, with that being said, this grill here, this is a pellet grill that I'm using today. It can't get below 180. So the lowest setting on it is 180. So I've just set it at the smoke temperature in the smoke setting, and this thing will do the rest. Anyway, the meat is on the grill. I got the temperature probes in there. They're going to tell me what the temperatures are, so it really doesn't matter on your grill. You just continue watching your meat. So with that being said, I'm going to wait until these get to about 150, 155. And for me, once they reach that temperature, they're done. Once they're done, I'm going to pull them off, wrap them in tin foil, and then they're going to continue to cook inside that tin foil for another 10 or 15 minutes. That temperature will rise a little bit and get internal. So that internal temp's what you're looking for. 150, 155 on these, and then wrap it up. I wrap it in tin foil. Those juices will stay in there, and that meat will absorb those juices even farther and keep it pretty moist. And then once I get them wrapped, I'm just gonna let them sit on the counter until they come to room temperature, and then put them in the fridge overnight. Let's get these smoking, and we'll see you when we wrap them. Pastrami, cheap pastrami. All right, just pulled them off the grill. These things look beautiful. Got a nice mahogany color to them. They smell fantastic. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put them on this and just wrap them up. So that's pretty much it. It is 10 o'clock at night. I had to leave them on for a couple more hours just to reach the 150 mark. But they're going to be fine in here. Another note, this is brisket and it tends to be a tough meat. It doesn't really matter to me because I'm going to slice them really thin and they'll be just fine. But if you want it a little bit more tender, throw this back on the grill, turn it up to 350 and leave them for another couple hours. and they'll steam in their own meat or their own juices and become a little bit more tender. You see a lot of guys, they'll smoke for 12 to 16 hours. That's kind of what they're doing with this tougher meat. But I'm gonna slice it thin tomorrow, and we're gonna give it a try. That sounded stupid. All right, we'll meet you back here in the morning, and we'll get this all sliced up. Let's see if I can get through this. All right, we're back here. Next day, these have been wrapped up and cooled off now. I always say the meat's better the next day, especially when you're smoking meat. It just seems to incorporate all those flavors. Anyway, we're here. Gonna pull these out, take a look at them. All right, so this is the flat piece. It smells wonderful. You can see all the juices in there. So it had time to marinate in its own juices last night and soak up some more of that fluid. It smells heavenly. So there's the flat piece. So that's the one that we did with regular mustard. Yeah, you can see the juices in there. So I got my slicer all set up here. I'm just going to go ahead and slice this up and show you the end result and what it looks like on the inside. It looks fantastic. I know it doesn't show up very well here on the camera, but the juices are just coming out of this piece of meat. And that's just all flavor. All right, all finished up here. Everything turned out really nice. You can see how beautiful that tray is. So between the two differences, I used plain mustard on one and I used the stone ground mustard on the other. With the plain mustard, we found that the pepper is more pronounced in that mustard rub. With the stone ground mustard, the pepper is not as pronounced and it's a little bit more mellow flavor, I'll say. Both of them are fantastic. There's a great smoke on this. My partner and I both tried it, and it's really, really good. Yeah, and for the cost of what we just spent to do this, it was well worth it because now I've got a tray full of meat that we can eat on for the next couple months. Have pastrami sandwiches, pastrami hamburgers, whatever we want to do with it, and at a fraction of the cost. You saw the cost of those 2 bags. I didn't have to cure them. Basically, I had to debrine them, so that hour and a half debrine that we did was perfect. I don't get any of that brine, salty flavor from this meat at all. It's got a nice flavor to it. I really can't complain. For just buying a couple bags right off the shelf, bringing them home, debrining them, throwing them on the smoker, coming to slicing. It doesn't taste like corned beef. It tastes like pastrami. And the tenderness. Also with that wrap on there, the juices are here on this sliced meat. It's hard to tell. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this. You can see that this is a wonderful tray of meat. There's 3 pounds meat. No, excuse me. So there was a total of 6 3/4 pounds of meat in those between those 2 packages. I probably removed 3/4 of the pound in fat and trimmings off of it. And then I haven't weighed this, but we probably have a little over 5 pounds of meat here after it's all said and done, because it did retain those juices by wrapping it and letting it sit. So let me show you the difference between a flat cut. So that's the flat cut. That hole is from the temperature probe. And then we call this the tip. So that's a tip. Basically, no difference. No difference at all. The taste is different only because we changed the mustard on it. But as far as the two, I would be getting the tip cut every time because it's $2 cheaper per pound. So I could have cut this cost down even more by just buying all tip cuts if it's available and doing the same thing. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Go out and try this and let me know how it turned out. All right, here on Clement's Family Farm, we'll see you on the next video.